Imagine a global conflict where one side starts with seemingly fewer resources, yet manages to outproduce its opponents on an unimaginable scale. How does a nation or an alliance pull off such a feat, essentially overwhelming its adversaries with sheer manufacturing power? During World War II, the Allied powers indeed significantly surpassed the Axis nations in industrial output, ultimately providing a decisive advantage that contributed to their victory. This immense industrial capacity was a cornerstone of their military success. The primary reasons for this Allied dominance were their superior access to raw materials globally, particularly oil and rubber, and their larger pre-war industrial bases, especially that of the United States. While Germany and Japan had efficient war economies, they faced critical resource limitations and had to conquer territory to secure supplies, which was often a fragile and contested method. The Allies also managed to convert their existing peacetime economies to war production more effectively, leveraging mass production techniques already well established in countries like the United States. The Axis powers, particularly Germany, initially focused on producing high-quality but complex weaponry, which was slower to manufacture and harder to repair. To achieve this, the Allied nations implemented several key strategies. The United States, often called the arsenal of democracy, ramped up production to unprecedented levels, supplying not only its own forces but also its allies through programs like Lend-Lease. This program provided raw materials to the United Kingdom, the Soviet Union, and other Allied nations, effectively pooling their industrial might. Governments took central control of economies, directing industries to produce specific war goods. They also mobilized their workforces, bringing millions of women into factories to replace men serving in the military, which drastically increased labor availability. Standardization of parts and designs further streamlined production. Consider some striking figures. At its peak, the United States alone was producing more merchant ships than the rest of the world combined, and outproducing Germany in tanks and aircraft by significant margins. The strategic bombing campaigns against Axis industrial centers, though not immediately crippling, further hampered their ability to sustain production. This combination of vast resource reserves, pre-existing industrial infrastructure, innovative economic policies, and a unified approach to war production created a manufacturing behemoth that the Axis could simply not match. This overwhelming industrial advantage meant that the Allies could sustain prolonged warfare, replace losses rapidly, and ultimately project more power onto battlefields across the globe. It was not just about having more guns, but about having the ability to quickly produce the ships, planes, tanks, and ammunition necessary to wear down and defeat a determined enemy. This industrial might translated directly into military superiority and was a critical factor in shaping the outcome of World War II.